Chapter 6: The Return of the Lion. The plains opened wide before Tomas, golden and vast under a silver sky. Wind swept across the tall grasses like waves upon an unseen sea. Every step forward felt like a rebirth, and a burden. He walked alone now. Brother Heman remained behind, his injuries too grave to continue. They had parted with a clasp of hands and words of silent respect. Tomas had offered to stay, but the old priest only smiled and said, "I have found my holy ground. You must find yours." So Tomas carried on. He wore the scorched lion banner over his shoulders, not like a burden, but like armor. Sir Alaric's sword was belted to his side, heavy and blood-worn. The boy who had once tripped over his own feet now moved with the calm certainty of a man who had bled for a cause, and had survived it. But survival was not the end of the vow. The return was. 3 days later, he crested a hill and saw it, the outer wall of the southern garrison of Antioch. Stone towers stood like sentinels above the rolling grass, manned by soldiers in silver and crimson. A line of pilgrims and merchants waited by the gates, and the flag of the church fluttered in the breeze, untouched by war, unmarked by fire. Tomas approached slowly. The guards saw the banner first. They didn't recognize him. But they recognized the scorched standard of the Lion Order. "Who goes there?" one called, voice uncertain. Tomas halted. His voice was hoarse, but strong. A knight of the Lion Order, returned from the mountain crusade. The guards exchanged glances. One stepped forward. That campaign failed. Everyone said the knights perished. That the mountain tribes destroyed them. Tomas drew Alaric's sword and plunged it into the ground. They were wrong. Within the walls of Antioch, word spread like fire. The last knight had returned. Within hours, Tomas stood before the Lord Commander of the southern armies, Sir Galen of Westvale, a man with white hair and cold eyes. Around him stood bishops, scribes, and nobles. The chamber reeked of incense and politics. "You claim to be the squire of Sir Alaric," Galen said, arms crossed. "And that he is dead?" Tomas nodded. Galen sneered. "How convenient. The only man who could vouch for your tale is the one who now lies buried in the wild." Tomas stepped forward and unfurled the banner. The room fell silent. The cloth was torn and burned, blackened by fire and soaked in blood. But the lion still roared. "I carry his vow," Tomas said. "And the truth." Then he told them everything. He spoke of the betrayal that left their flank exposed. Of the barbarian King Volgar and his death at the hands of Sir Alaric. Of the battle in the blizzard, of the burning tower, and the final stand in the cursed forest. Of the ashbound, and the bodies strung from trees. He spoke not as a boy begging to be believed, but as a knight who had lived each horror and borne its weight. When he finished, no one spoke. Galen finally stood. "And what proof have you, beyond scorched cloth and stories?" Tomas reached into his satchel. He placed the ring of Volgar, stamped with the crest of the mountain tribes, upon the table. And beside it, the seal of Sir Alaric, broken in half. Galen's eyes narrowed. The bishops whispered. Then one, an older man with ink-stained robes, stepped forward and placed a hand upon Tomas's shoulder. "You may not have been knighted by blade or ceremony," he said. "But you have been anointed by fire." Within the week, the Lion Order was officially restored. Tomas stood upon the steps of the Grand Cathedral in Antioch, wearing a newly forged cuirass bearing the lion's head. Before a crowd of thousands, the High Bishop of the southern province laid a sword upon each shoulder. "In honor of the fallen. In the name of the righteous. And for the vow that was never broken, I name thee, Sir Tomas of the Lion Flame." The crowd roared. Some cheered because they saw hope in him. Others because they smelled the winds of war shifting. But Tomas heard none of it. He thought only of the mountain, of the flames, and of a knight who died beneath a willow tree. That night, alone in the chapel, he knelt before the altar and placed Alaric's sword upon it. He whispered a quiet prayer. I brought it home. The fire. The oath. All of it. The candles flickered. And though no voice answered, Tomas felt it, the weight lifted. The circle closed. But not ended. War still brewed beyond the horizon. Whispers of a new barbarian alliance rose in the north. Merchants spoke of strange symbols and dark rituals. And the Ashbound had not died with Volgar. They had only scattered. Waiting. And so Tomas did not rest. He rebuilt the order. He trained new squires. He rode out to lost villages and returned with orphans and outcasts, teaching them not to seek glory, but to live with honor. To carry the banner, even when it burns. Years passed. The Lion Order rose again, not as many, but as brothers and sisters bound by fire and faith. Their armor was simple. Their swords were plain. But their vow was unbreakable. And at their head rode Tomas. The last knight of the mountain. The boy who returned not as a hero, but as a promise. A flame. An iron vow.